Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Thanks. Good morning. Thanks for jumping in. We're gonna get started shortly. Good morning. Let's see. Good morning. Thanks for jumping in. We are gonna get started shortly.
Good morning, everybody.
Well, good morning again, everybody. Thanks for jumping in. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Power Hour. My name is Ricardo Beris. I'm the chairman for the Global Opportunities Committee of the Atlanta Black Chambers. It's good to have you here. Do us a favor and put where you're coming in from in the chat. Would love to say hello and see where in the world are you joining us from. It's going to be a great day today. If you are not in the U.S., we celebrate Thanksgiving in the U.S., and so Thanksgiving is happening tomorrow, and so this is a short day for many, and so we're gonna be in and out of here, so you can carry on with your Thanksgiving preparation. There are a few housekeeping I want to make sure that we're all on the same page with uh the the rules. You've got to keep your microphone on mute at all times. This is a recorded session, so it will be available on our YouTube channel. Do us a favor, follow us on YouTube. You can, if you're on LinkedIn, you can also follow us there, the Global Opportunities Committee, as well as you can follow the Atlanta Black Chamber. I think the chamber is heading for 1,000 subscribers, guys. And if you can help with accomplishing that, that would be awesome. We have just a couple other things that we'll be doing during this program. We'll be spotlighting one of our member at the top of the hour. We'll also be dropping one of our, favorite things to do is to poll and get your feedback. If you know someone who should be here and is not here, just tap them, letting them know that we're live. and we're actually ready to go. This is exciting because this conversation is about our series that we're launching about West Africa. West Africa is one of the regions that we've always planned and wanted to take a delegation, and so we're super excited about that. But I want to give you a quick elevator view on the Global Opportunities Committee. We are again a part of the Atlanta Black Chambers, and our focus is on opportunities around the world for our members. So we talk to folks who can share insights, expertise from all over the world. And so it's good to have our folks here that represents Liberia and Nigeria as two of the countries that will be visiting in March of next year. So if you're planning on coming with us, if you know someone who would love to be a part of that experience, we would love to take you with us in March from the officially from the 9th to the 22nd of March. We'll be in the region exploring opportunities and connecting. We're all about trade, partnership, and investment within the GOC. So those are the three things that we look at. We are not an investment organization. We focus on bilateral trading with each other. How can we trade more with each other? How can we do more partnership with each other? And how can we invest more in each other? And so without further ado, I want to welcome to the stage my guests that we have here, and I'd like to invite them on to introduce themselves. First, we have Dr. Nukey, who is representing Liberia today. And Dr. Nukey, we're going to start with you. If you can unmute and give us a quick introduction, tell us a little bit about who you are, tell us about what you do and your background, and then we'll go and hear from our dear friend Stephanie, Stephanie Logan Setra, who will also introduce herself. We'll allow the gentlemen to introduce themselves as well, Regis Uzoma and uh, Ambassador Kenneth Enetor. So, Dr. Nuki, good morning. Please go ahead and tell us a little bit about you.
Well, good morning or good afternoon from wherever you are. I am Nukey Matunde Richards. I'm currently residing in Liberia. Um, I am the Director of Business Affairs with the Liberian Chamber of Commerce, located in the United States of America. I'm also have a background in real estate and has been a realtor since 1997. So I'm glad to be on this show today, and I look forward to having a great conversation going.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Well, it's good to have you here. We're gonna dive into some questions and conversation shortly. Stephanie?
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Stephanie Logan Setro. I am the Executive Director of the Liberia Chamber of Commerce in the Americas. We are a binational chamber based here in Atlanta, Georgia. Full caveat, I'm also regional lead for Liberia for the GOC. So happy to be here and looking forward to this conversation as well.
Awesome, awesome. Regis, please go ahead and unmute and intro yourself.
It's good to be here. Just to confirm, you can hear me, please. Can you hear me,
Yes.
Ricardo? Yeah, I was testing my routers earlier, so it's really nice to connect with everybody here. I'm very passionate about trade. As a background, I run the Tradecast Global, LLC, which is focused at bridging trade, accelerating trade, and it's essentially ensuring that people can profit from trade regardless of where they are. On the other, I run BrandNet, which is a global marketing agency, which is about expansion and making sure that the real core components of marketing can deliver dividends to business owners. That's it. This is the summary about me. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Ambassador, can you hear us? Would love to have you come on now and tell us a little bit about who you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Ambassador Kenneth Taneto. I'm a business consultant and government relations specialist. I work in different areas across public policy, private sector development, and social impact initiatives in Nigeria and West Africa. For a decade plus, I've been advising organizations, government agencies, and international partners on regulatory navigation, partnership, investment opportunity, community-focused development, and other types of public-private partnerships between government and organizations. I work with the National Assembly. I'm a non-profit executive, and I serve on some agricultural boards too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador. Busy man indeed. Why don't we probably start with you, Ambassador? You're in Nigeria. If you could give us a backdrop of Nigeria for the folks here who has never been to Nigeria before and is not necessarily familiar with Nigeria.
Nigeria is a beautiful country. Nigeria has a diversity of people, diversity of religion, diversity of resources. Nigeria is a loving place. And Nigeria, when I see foreigners here in Nigeria, a lot of things that Nigerians take for granted, people that come into here look at it as gold. So Nigeria is a gold mine. Let me just say that. There are a lot of foreigners that are here benefiting from a lot of things. But one thing about Nigeria is that you always need the right information and the right people to work with so that you can get the best out of this country. There are a lot of opportunities here, and I look forward to seeing how we can present those opportunities to everyone on this call.
Yeah, thank you. We're going to dive into what some of those opportunities are. And you said something interesting I want to come back on, but I'd like to get to you, Dr. Nukey. Is this the same thing for Liberia? Do you share the same view about Liberia? Tell us a little bit about Liberia for those of us who are not familiar with the jurisdiction. Dr. Nukey, can you hear us? So Stephanie, maybe we'll come over to you since you have some familiarity with, because I'm not sure Dr. Nuke is hearing us. But Steph, do you share the same view? I'd love to hear your thoughts around
Well,
Liberia.
Oh,
well,
are you on,
Liberia
Nukey?
is, yeah, I'm on. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Please go ahead, Dr. Nuke.
Can you all hear me? Okay. Yes, Liberia is a fast growing, because went through 14 years of civil war, and we've had some setbacks. But currently, Liberia has picked up dramatically. Is one of the most fast growing investment places that you can come to invest. The things are being improved. A lot of people now moving from the United States here, white, black, even the Liberians themselves. So the opportunities here are very great in investment. The president encourages people to move back here to invest because we need some private sectors to build the economy because the government cannot do it all. So yes, Liberia has stepped 100% over and encourages people to come to Liberia for investment. It's safe. It is safe. Like I said, since our war, things were set back, but Liberia is real safe. Nobody should lie to you. Things have improved greatly. So we encourage anyone. And again, the president encourages people to come investors, Liberians from all over to come to Liberia. We have a lot of things that you can invest in. We have gold, we have the mining, we have coal, we have so many things you can invest in.
Thank you. Thank you. Stephanie, you're actually a part of the Liberia community. You're based here and you serve as a bridge and a connector to the Liberia community. Tell us a little bit about the opportunities that you're seeing in Liberia through your lens and through the organization that you work with.
Okay. So I think there's a lot of areas like Nukey said, in Liberia, sectors that open up, and also there's also niche markets that people could come in to invest in. Agriculture is big everywhere, and agriculture is one of the main hubs for investment. They need more modernization and value chains, include rice, cassava, rubber, fruits, aquaculture, and mining is the next one. We could go down the line, but I think the top three would be agriculture, mining, and infrastructure. Liberia needs a lot of infrastructure in regards to the roads. I know right now they're doing a lot of building in regards to the bridges and so forth, but those three would be the top three. There are more, but I think the top three would be agriculture, mining, and infrastructure and energy.
Awesome. And so Regis, I want to come to you, and because you're also a part of the Nigeria community. You are from Nigeria. Where in Nigeria are you based?
Well, I'm in Lagos right now, and if I would go further to talk about Nigeria, it's a tough time to talk about Nigeria if you've been following the news. So I'm not I'm not on the side of pitching it just for the sake of patriotism, which I am very patriotic. But what we are looking at are what are the facts, right? And what are the potentials and what can we build out of that? So it's a two-way street, and you just have to choose your tribe, right? Who do you do business with? And when we begin to talk about the opportunities, I'm going to show you some weird opportunities. I like to call them weird opportunities because you've heard of agri, right? That's mainstream. Everybody's heard about it. There are some things that ChatGPT won't tell you, right? And I'd like to share some of those information with us as we move along, right? So Nigeria, promising our problems, our opportunities, but not to sound, quite cliche. I like to, have on this call, I like to be the alternate investment opportunities guy on this call so we can talk about the weird routes we can actually use in entering the market safely and build perhaps new markets because the market, as we know it, is not, it's just the beginning of a conversation. There's still a lot to come out of the market as it is right now. There are things we do not realize are, market potentials. And before you realize it, these things begin to evolve. You will see them more in 10 years, but we can begin to have those chats.
Well, let's have the chat. This weird opportunities that you're talking about. When we say weird, we have a very different image in our mind about this. So let's break this down. What exactly are you talking about when you say weird opportunities
Well,
that's not mainstream?
absolutely. So, yeah, so what we see when you talk about opportunities and the stereotype goes to natural resources. Everybody's heard about it, right? And we will get to that, right? But there is something that is the biggest connector of all of this. And if there is anyone who is thinking very seriously about doing business in West Africa, the person should think harshly about compliance as a service because the trust element is the reason why you know everything falls apart. And so we want to build a compliance infrastructure that cuts across niches, across industry sectors, across regions. And that is why that is a weird thing if you think about it that way, because this is compliance as a service. If there is a way to democratize, compliance, what will that look like? For those who want to lift lithium from, you know, the hinterland, what does that look like? When you're lifting it from the locals and moving it through the entire value chains, what does that look like, right? What is the trust component? And what we are trying to say here is Nigeria becomes a more attractive country when people feel comfortable to do business with each other. When foreigners do not have an idea that what if, there shouldn't be a what if in business, right? And so there should be a component of preserving those interests. And this is why we, particularly, I particularly push for compliance as a service. And this is the first part of things I think we should look very seriously at. Now, I have a training and I'm certified by the World Bank, in trading for development in the age of global value chains. And what this simply means is every niche has micro niches. Every sector has micro elements that makes it. Every single product is a compartmentalization of different, services and skills that bring all this together. And sometimes in those products, you see all the gaps, right? We should build a system whereby I've talked about the compliance components. I'm talking about the gap elements in the GVCs, which is the global value chains, right? Making sure that in each of these gaps, I'm wearing a shirt right now, but in China, over 60 large manufacturing establishments are dedicated to producing those buttons. That is hyper specialization, right? And sometimes we are so focused on wanting to trade, externally that we lose sight of the opportunities within. I have experimented and I have seen firsthand how you can trade right within to create an accelerated result in trade. So in my journey, I want to bring in people to trade more with some guidance. It's a hand-holding process. But again, the first part, going back to what I started out with, compliance as a service, and then GVCs as a strategy.
Understood. Well, thanks for sharing that. That's very interesting, and probably we need to learn a little bit more about this idea of compliance as a service. I want to go back to I want to go to Liberia. So we're switching between Liberia and Nigeria. These are two of the jurisdiction that we'll be visiting when we get to West Africa in March. Agriculture. Agriculture is very much talked about as a mainstream sector, as a mainstream industry. What do you make of this need for agriculture in Liberia and in Nigeria? And I probably would pose that to Dr. Nukey and Ambassador Kenneth. What are the areas of agriculture that you see that you need assistance in, and are there opportunities to also trade and partner? I know you speak a lot around investment, but are there opportunities to do other things within the areas of agriculture? Because when we think about agriculture, we're probably just thinking about the soil and putting stuff in the ground and planting. But what are some of the other things that we may not necessarily be thinking about that applies to agriculture that we should be that would be of interest?
Well, I'm going to answer this, but I would like to say that I need to rush off. So I'm going to answer this question, but I have to go. I have an emergency I have to attend to. But agriculture, one of the things the president say is that he wants his main thing, one of his main goals in his arrest agenda, like Stephanie says, is agriculture, because he wants everyone in Liberia to be able to feed themselves, for us to stop depending on other countries. So farming, as we said, planting rice. One of our main staple of meal is rice. So we need rice farm, and the equipment, we are not advanced in equipment. We're still doing laboring work. So if we could get the equipment here to help the farmers to plant, to do things, the soil. So again, some things are still being done manually. So if we can get things that will make the process a little easier, better. So we have the rice, we have cocoa, we have the grains that we eat, but mostly rice, because the president has a huge uh, rice farm that he has established for the citizens. Instead of purchasing rice out of the country, he wants us to do it for ourselves. to feed ourselves here in Liberia. So maybe Stephanie can elaborate on that. And again, I'm sorry I have to rush because I have an emergency I have to attend.
No, thank you, Dr. Nuki, and all the best. We'll pick
I'm
up with
done.
Stephanie. We'll pick up with Stephanie on that. But Ambassador Kenneth, I want to come to you on that subject of agriculture and ask you the same question.
Um, Thank you so much. When it comes to the subject of alcohol of agriculture, there are a lot of opportunities. We can look at crop production. There are a lot of cash crops in Nigeria, from rice, maize, cassava, yams, beans, sorghum, millet, plantain, palm oil, cocoa, groundnut, sesame seeds. Opportunities that exist are processing plants, importing farm machinery and irrigation systems, of which in Nigeria there's no tax on importation. That's if you're doing direct investment. Then exporting agro produce, sesame seeds, cocoa, hibiscus, ginger, and climate smart agricultural partnerships. Coincidentally, the Minister of Livestock actually is my neighbor. So when we talk about livestock farming, we're looking at cattle, poultry. In the last 3 years, we have seen that cattle farming of cattle has gone up by like maybe 200%. So like, and we have a population that usually consume these products for religious festivals or cultural events. So the opportunities in poultry farming and hatcheries, dairy value chains, meat collectors centers, then animal feeding manufacturing, which has become a big business because a lot of people want this chicken, a lot of people want this feed, a lot of people are growing these animals, this thing breeding these animals. It's now creating an opportunity for people that are preparing the field. So we have mills coming up, and these mills are making a lot of money because the poultry farmers are consuming this a lot. In fact, some poultry farmers are trying to diversify to start producing their own feed. Then fish farming, cold chain like cold stores. Then in terms of agri and the opportunities and digital opportunities, I have a friend. He's done a lot in agri. I have a couple of friends in agri, but I have one that I'm really proud of. He has pitched on different programs. He's looking at ways that he's connecting farmers through different apps. He's looking at smart irrigation. He's training young farmers to use modern agricultural tools and how to map their regions. Then we have the processing value chain. Whether you're in small to medium scale processing, there are a lot of produce in Nigeria. From whether you're in cassava value chain, if you go into the cassava value chain, cassava was just being consumed as only gari. It's a delicacy in Nigeria, but it has now grown to people are making cassava flakes, cassava noodles, cassava there's something we call cassava bread, cassava flour to cassava bread. There's something we call boba tea. It's like a popular drink, like the way we have Starbucks in Nigeria. There's this thing called boba tea. It's become very popular. It's like 7,000 naira for a cup, and one of the active ingredients in it is the boba is made from cassava. So there are opportunities for packaging and branding too. If you're not interested in maybe producing, you just carve your niche in packaging your products for export standard. You look at the standards in different countries and you're just coming to Nigeria to package their products for them, advice on how to send the products back. Then also the opportunities for consultation. In Nigeria, one of the things about I said about Nigeria is doing business the right way. Being a consultant here on advising people on how to actually have the standard, the 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 standard way of packaging their products for Nigerians and standard way for packaging their products to be sent abroad. I'm talking about quality, I'm talking about certification, I'm talking on working with state governments to get approvals to actually work in some states and in some local governments. Then another opportunity that people don't really look at is logistics and storage. That is one of the biggest challenges in Nigeria. We have the produce, we have a lot. Like the farmers, connecting the farmers, the distance between where these things are produced and where they're consumed. People lose about 60, sometimes to 70% of the produce. So anybody that is coming in with cold storage, refrigerated trucks, warehouse and grain silos, coming with transport solutions from farm to market, is coming to solve a big. I'm big on development to meet challenges. I'm very big on addressing development issues. So this is an area that I really want people to come in. If you're coming in to bridge the gap between the market and the farm, you're coming to make a lot of money and you're coming to come and help a lot. The amount of corn that is destroyed, the amount of tomatoes that is lost, the amount of fruits that are damaged before it actually gets to, okay, let me give an example. I want to just be very real. My colleague, one of my friends, he had a contract to supply 5 trucks of rice to a neighboring state. The states, the state was a bit far, so the distance it took him from supplying it to there, he did not get the right trucks, and rain actually fell on some of the rice. And when he delivered it there, the rice started turning brown. And this was like over 40. He had already been paid like 25 million naira, and he was expecting his balance, only for the person to say, I need a refund. Because we have an insurance, we have something called NIAC, Nigerian Insurance Agricultural Insurance. NIAC is like agricultural insurance. So he had some insured, but he had to still take some loss. And he had to go back. But the opportunity that existed that he could go back and sell it back to some of the rice mills in Kano. So that opportunities, then fertilizers, inputs, and farm chain supply. There are organizations here that their main work is just mining and pulling out natural resources to create fertilizers. Nigeria imports fertilizers a lot, and Nigerian government usually has a program where they give fertilizers at subsidized rates to farmers. So anybody that is coming in either to produce fertilizers could tap into that market where you could have opportunities with the government to buy some of your fertilizers or work directly with the farmers. Because some farmers now, I have a colleague that works in non-profit, but he has a farm. His dad has a farm. So every farming season, they're all rushing back to go back to the farm, and
Yeah.
organic fertilizers too. So there are a lot that exist. Then export oriented markets: cocoa, cashew, ginger, hibiscus, palm kernel, which is a major component for a lot of cosmetic products, soya beans. There are a lot that exist, and we have the population. We have the teeming
Yeah.
youth population that are ready to work. So I
Yeah.
can talk about, and we have land, a lot of land. So I could talk about on, and this is just one sector. I have other sectors I could
Yeah.
talk about, especially the health
No,
sector. A lot of opportunities
thank
there. So thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. I know we could talk all day about the opportunities around there. And the reason I mention agriculture, because obviously agriculture anywhere is the one of the core sectors for any country. And so there's no difference in it being that for West African nations. You mentioned something at the end of your sentence just now around the talent and around the folks that are actually there, qualified people that are available within the region. And I want to talk a little bit about that, but I do want to bring on stage one of our member who is doing some incredible work. And obviously, as we try to bridge the gap between what's happening in West Africa, in other parts of the world, and the things that our entrepreneurs and our businesses are actually doing, I'd like for you to meet our member Shante Knox, who is a part of the GOC, a part of the Atlanta Black Chamber, and she's building something incredible. And I want to see how best we can help her to bridge those gaps. Shante, welcome to the Power Hour. Please tell us a little bit about who you are. Tell us about what it is that you're building. What is it that you're so excited about?
Well, good morning, everybody. I am Shantae Knox. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm the founder of Deliver Fem Care. We're a femtech innovation company developing personal feminine hygiene products for women, and I am the inventor and patent holder of a new disc, which is the first and only absorbent menstrual disc specifically designed for women with heavier than normal cycles. So the technology in our disc, it absorbs clots and fluid in order to prevent leaking and the messy removal that is caused by collection only devices. And this is important for women with heavier than normal flows who are frequently experiencing embarrassing leaks, who may be dealing with fibroids, endometriosis, going through perimenopause, or any other hormonal imbalances that may contribute to heavier than normal flows.
Yes, and so this is the business and the product, this is the product, and I think what I would like to hear from you is sort of how did you get into this and what made, because I see you're getting a lot of love here with the audience. Everybody seems to relate to this. And how did you get into this and why do you think this is needed now?
Okay, so I got into this because I'm a woman with a heavy cycle myself. My degree is in communications, but when and it actually happened, I had an embarrassing moment at a conference. I was front row and I was wearing another disc. I've had heavy cycles my entire life, so managing my cycle has always been a hurdle. It wasn't a matter of if I was going to leak, it was when I was going to leak and where I was going to be, and if I'd be able to manage it and avoid the leak showing through. So I would often wear dark clothes. I would schedule my days around if there were restrooms available. It was just my entire cycle revolved around, I mean, my entire life revolved around my cycle. So when I had the other disc and I was at the conference and it leaked while I sneezed and I was on front row and it leaked and I sat there hoping that the speaker would give us 15-minute break, like they're talking for so long and then they give you break, everybody get up for recess, because since I was sitting so close to the front, I didn't want to get up and walk because the restrooms were through the double doors, which were in the back of the room. So I sat there hoping that the leak didn't show through my clothes, and a guy behind me tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Ma'am, excuse me, you have blood running down your leg." And that was just such an embarrassing, humiliating moment. So I had to stand up, gather my things, and walk past all of the people that were in the audience to, go to the restroom and clean myself up. But I didn't re-enter the conference after that. I left. And I called the company and I said, "Hey, you guys have a great product. It collects more than normal. However, it's really messy and it leaks." And they kind of blew me off. So I decided to create it myself because I needed something better than tampons. I needed something better than pads. I needed something better than the menstrual cups and menstrual discs that were currently on the market. And so I created it myself. And that's how it began. So I didn't set out to become an inventor. It was out of sheer necessity. The product was needed. And then when we were doing customer discovery, I learned that there were so many other women that were going through the same thing and weren't able to manage their cycle sufficiently. And it wasn't because of ignorance or like we're using the products that are out there. It's just the products were insufficient. They weren't effective. And so I set out to find a way to make the menstrual cup and menstrual disc more effective. So each month I would experiment with different absorbent materials to before we came to the final design. So I've gone through over 7 prototypes and it's been what 15 years in the making, 10 years since I filed my first patent, and then 6.5 years of prototype design iteration and going back and forth with manufacturers to finally come up with a design. And so we just launched it on Kickstarter 2 weeks ago, and we've already reached about 63% of our goal. We're still going to get to the finish line, but people are receiving it very well. I haven't done a whole lot of marketing because I'm not a marketing guru, but I think people are receiving it really well, and I can't wait to bring it to the world. 1 in 5 women have heavy menstrual bleeding, and that's just the women who have reported it to their physicians, not to mention women like me because I didn't report it to my physician because it was just normal. My cycle's just been that way. So when I do go to the hospital or I see a doctor, there aren't any fibroids. I don't have endometriosis. I have a heavy cycle, and that's just something I have to deal with. But there are other women that do have, other issues and they need this product just as desperately as I needed it then.
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that. Wow, that's a great story, and sorry you had to go through that. And this is what entrepreneurship is about: being able to identify a problem, especially if you experience it yourself, and recognizing that you're not alone. And I want you to know that you're not alone within our community because we've got a lot of folks here who would love to then support this powerful movement that you're actually on. I want to talk to the guest about maybe, and it's an open question to Regis, Stephanie, perhaps, and Kenneth. When you hear this, how can should Shante come on this delegation with us in West Africa in March? How could you help someone like one of our member here, like Shante, to then tap into the markets in Liberia as well as in Nigeria with this kind of product? Because one of the things we talked about at the top of the call is a bilateral movement that we're on. This is an entrepreneur who's creating a product. Obviously, 1 in 5 women, as she said. And if you're thinking about any sector in Nigeria, any sort of employment, anything that you're actually doing, these are great considerations because this does solve a problem. I'd love to hear your reaction to what one of our entrepreneurs are creating and how you think she could be successful in those jurisdictions. Reggie?
Well, if I had $50 billion, I'll just give it to you right now to scale this real fast, right?
Right.
And this is because it is a truly emotional thing, and now it's become a tangible product that solves a tangible problem. And so I've done business globally. I have a huge market in the US, and we've done a lot of US Nigeria, trade facilitation on one part. On the other part of what I do is market preparation, which stimulates the market. And I'm happy to work with you to look at your product in detail, then look at what we can do to stimulate so that we can have what looks like an off-takers setting such
Mm-hmm.
that we can compartmentalize this. My friend Aneto was speaking earlier about cassava, and he was trying to talk about value chains, right? And what that simply means in relation to you here is that when we begin to break down the opportunities that you are thinking of your products, by the time we begin to extrapolate it, well, you'll be truly shocked. I've been looking out for a product like that because I think everybody here knows one person that is dealing with that problem. And we should look at it in detail and look at what does it take to, get the necessary approvals and compliance. Compliance. I talked
Mm-hmm.
about compliance at the beginning of things, and you see why we're talking. Because I like it. And one of the things I'll say out of this is one of the routes to market is diasporans as a channel to marketing, right? Or chambers as a channel to marketing. So let's look at the reverse trade right now from Nigeria. The easiest way would have been if we have a unison and purpose, right? This will come to you. The easiest way would have been when we look at the chambers and all these bilateral organizations, if they back one product per session, maybe on the powerhouse, and have a strategy to ensure that, oh, this gets to Nevada, this gets to Maryland, this gets to Atlanta, and it begins to make a lot of sense, right? And in this case now, if we look at this product and truly identify that this is very good, we will look at the clinical components of it, right? So I say clinical because I heard I work as the group marketing director for American Clinical Trials is in Atlanta. And what we do there is to ensure that while this product is very good, we want to make sure that it's not just good enough for those in the US. We want to ensure that people of these other regions were considered in formulating this product. And again, this is when we talk about preparation of the market so that it's well received, right? So it starts with a sample here and there, and again, everything will be based on compliance. So what can I tell you on the trade components? There can be that on the marketing component. I believe there is a lot of potential right there. So I'll say
Thank
good
you.
work, and I really align with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Regis. Shante, thanks for sharing your story. Please put your information in the chat and how we can help to support you. She has to get to this milestone to be able to actually have the product. And if there's an opportunity to partner with her, that will actually get that conversation for her going. I think you can't go out comfortably if you're struggling with this challenge. You can't work confidently if you are struggling with this, and that applies to anywhere. And this is the magic that we do here at GOC, is to connect on our platform people who can really make a difference and help to move the needle forward. So thanks for sharing that. Stephanie, if I think Stephanie is still on the call, I'd love to hear from you, Stephanie. You obviously you have a strong influence within the Liberia community. One of the things that we see happening within, or at least within our chamber, we have a lot of professional service providers, and I think the ambassador was also alluding to it earlier. And you talk a little bit about some of the top opportunities that you see around agri and mining and infrastructure. I wanted to come in quickly on the need for some of these professional services that we provide as a collective. We're in accounting, we're in law, we're in real estate, we're in and some of us who may not never do anything in mining or infrastructure or agriculture, but we have value that we can add. Can you speak a little bit to how can we tap into those using our professional skills into some of the opportunities that exist in your region?
Okay, thank you for that, Ricardo. First, I want to say to Shantae, Shantae, you need to come to Liberia.
Okay.
Your product is much needed. The Chamber is also certified to give out the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. And last year we gave it to a nonprofit, and that's strictly what they deal with, helping those in the African sub-Saharan nations, the female population, with hygiene products. And in Liberia, there's a lot of young girls who miss a lot of school because of this problem. And there isn't a lot of manufacturing of these products there. So it's very expensive when they have to import these products. So we need you. You need to get on that trip. You need to get out there. We need to talk after this, because this is a very important topic in Liberia. It's about health. It's about women empowerment. It's all of that, teaching our young girls that you don't have to be embarrassed about it.
Absolutely.
So I'm so happy that you were able to come on and present that. Now back to Ricardo. We are talking about service industry. There's a lot of different service. Okay, so let me first explain that Liberia is a service industry with the service country within itself, and trying to transform into a producing country. So within that, we have many different service areas. Like, take, for instance, if you have law, like I think it was Kenneth who said, or I forgot the other speaker, sorry, was talking about compliance and legalities and all that stuff. Those sectors are highly needed. Right now, the business registry in Liberia, there's a whole market in that for service because of the fact that it's not digitized. So we can't go online like how we do here and register your business. Most people would come through the chamber who would have our people on the ground who would be the ones to register your business in Liberia. That's changing, but it's changing slowly. So those are areas that we would look into for services. Also, when you register your company, some of those people are not digitally inclined, or the lack of understanding of the documentation. That industry is a niche market where you can open up a consultancy where you can actually register those businesses, just like how they have here. You would actually register those businesses for them. So there's different markets that would suit the need for different service industries. And even though you might not be into mining or agriculture, there's also service parts of those industries that people can take part in. You have to find that niche. Like I said, Liberia is open for business, and there's so many aspects of investment. I always tease the team that Liberia is the jewel in the crown, like the last trip on it, because this is the place where you're going to find an open market. And like Kenneth said, everything that he said will convert into Liberia as well. All the service sectors, the storage facilities, everything that he said All these things are needed in Liberia. And every sector can convert into a service industry that someone could find their niche market for investment. So I
Yeah.
would say come to Liberia, come and learn about Liberia, come see Liberia. The market is open. We are free. The ABC is there, GOC is there, the chamber, we're here. Any information that you need or any sector that you feel that you might be interested in, contact us. We're free. We'll talk about it. We'll find out where your niche could be. But you won't know unless you ask the question. So come out to the trip and come see these West African nations and see where you can fit in.
Thank you, Stephanie. And by and large, there's a lot of exploration in this delegation, and so it's about being open-minded and just really sort of understanding. But a lot of people also want to know what can they do before they actually put their foot on the ground in Liberia, in Nigeria, in West Africa. How can you advise them? How can you help them to think about this? And this is an open question to all three of you, as I know we're coming up on the hour, and we might ask you for just an extra 5 minutes because this is a very powerful conversation that we're actually having, and we don't want you to miss some of these insights here. But an open question to all of you before heading out there. So, the trip is March, it's a few weeks away. What can we start to do today in terms of thinking around how to make the best out of this delegation? Because this is all also an investment that our entrepreneurs and our business owners will be making. How can we ensure you guys are business people? How can we ensure that the best comes out of this investment, even ahead of the actual delegation? Ambassador, you wanted to start?
Yes, I can go ahead. So I believe that a lot has been said, and people here are being very attentive. So one of the things they could do is that they should take out their interest points. And right now, one of my colleagues will be dropping my contacts. They can begin to reach out and discuss about the areas they're most interested in. And we could start working on some consultancy, some investigation for them. Then, as the time approaches, visa preparations. For people coming from the US, it's either you go to Washington or we could do a visa on arrival for you here. A couple of people we did that for them this year when they visited. I want to let you know that Nigeria is not Nigeria is profitable in terms of tourism, but apart from the dirty December that's become a Nigeria has become popular for
Think we might have lost
a
you there.
lot of
Think we might have lost you there, Ambassador. Your connection is a little bit
opportunities here.
but what we'll do is to switch over to
Someone
Regis.
spoke about renewable energy. Um, so I put my contact. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. You're breaking up a little bit. Go ahead quickly.
Okay, so I just want to let everyone know that Nigeria is not only for dirty December. There are a lot of profitable endeavors. You can begin to reach out now and share your concerns, share your
All right, we'll have to come back to the ambassador here. Regis, would you want to then maybe share your
Yeah,
perspective on the
sure.
question?
Yeah, sure. Just for context, Dirty December really is, you know, blowing up a lot of luxury in December and just celebrating life. That's what Dirty December is for those who don't understand, right? But really, to look at this is, I like to work in a schematic way, and I like to know where, the chamber is at this time. Then we create a running order of what should be delivered by end of December, January 1st till the date, right? So what we can say is we would have to talk on an official basis because I'm looking at the time right now. And when we see where the chamber is, we'll say, okay, schematically, this is where we can be realistically by this time. what is the resources on ground, who are the people, what are the, then all of this, would we potentially need to move the dates based on, some factors and all that. So, I don't like to tell you what ChatGPT will tell you about Nigeria or what you can hear on the news, right? I want to tell you about what we can get done, on a practical basis, and that's why I say it's about getting down to work, right? And one of the things I like to avoid when we talk here in meetings like this is not the mainstream, chats, because there's a lot of very nice, elevating, inspiring conversations that if you don't get the job done, it's better that meeting never held, right? So uh, we will talk about actually getting the job done, right? What are the deliverables? I work with KPIs, I work with metrics, I work with results and all that. So if I tell
Yeah.
you I'm going to give you 1 million subscribers, let that be the hallmark of my service, right? And would agree based on compliance, right? I've been using that word a lot here, but that word really belongs to IJ. Yeah, she's our compliance person on this call. So really, thank you. This is as much I think I can actually bring on board right now, given the time frame. When it's time to get to the job, we look at where we are, then look at where we have to go from there to meet the targets. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Regis. And if you are interested, I see we've put the poll out there. We've gotten some feedback from you, and it seems like a lot of you are interested in going on the delegation. There will be folks on that side that will be receiving us, and I know a few folks that are actually in Nigeria and in Liberia that has joined the call. Express your interest with the application that's available so that we can go ahead and help you to answer some of those questions that you actually have in mind, because that's very important that you get all the information that you need to make the decision that you need to make in order for you to be able to be a part of what we're doing. As you heard from the guest, there are lots of opportunities, and it's too many of them to talk about on this call. But what we hope we did today was to help you to get some perspective, to help you to understand a little bit about how you might be able to make some decisions around being a part of this. Your final bit of advice to our listeners here, and I'll ask Shante also to kind of jumping. I mean, you're an entrepreneur yourself. You obviously have done some things right. I mean, you have a patent, and that's awesome. You also have you're raising money for your product. So you're an entrepreneur, and you're doing the thing. You're doing the do like most of us here. So we'd love to get your bit of advice. So maybe we'll start with you. Is there anything that you would like to then share, advice, ask in terms of support in front of the audience that we have here? And then Stephanie, and then we'll wrap up with I don't see Ambassador on the call anymore. I'm not sure if he's coming in, but we'll wrap up with Reggie and then final bit from Ambassador. Shante?
Well, I like to say thank you guys, everybody, for accepting and listening to everything that I had to say this morning. But for entrepreneurs, when you have a goal or a vision or something that has put on your heart to bring to fruition, just persevere, continue moving forward, with whatever. And it's important to form connections and build community and reach out to your community so that you can offer value and also receive and request assistance when you need it. Because yeah, we can do things alone, but we go further together. So I built this, whatever, but I can't take it and make it a globally available product without the assistance of my network and, without everyone's help. So I do want to ask, like, if you can support the Kickstarter campaign, share it. If you can support financially, but share it with as many women as possible that are struggling with heavy cycles. Share it with those communities that are in need of the product, because my goal for it is to make it visible, to let women know that there is something available for you. You don't have to struggle in silence. You don't have to just go with what's been currently out there. There's help, and I'm here to help. So that's all I have to say.
Fantastic. Thank you and congratulations. Stephanie, your final bit of advice.
Okay, I am a short but sweet type of person. So I'm going to say the first thing is register and register for the trip. And also understand the countries you are visiting. Investigate the countries a little bit more. And if you need more information, you can get in touch with any of us and you can get more information. And define your investment goals. Make sure that you understand what you're going through for and what you need to accomplish and what you want to accomplish. And prepare a business profile. Even though you register and you'll have some information that we'll have access to in regards to profile, make sure you have your business profile ready so that when you sit down amongst the investors or potential partners, whatever it may be in these countries, that you have your business profile ready so that you could introduce yourself formally and they can introduce themselves formally. So those are the things I would tell you to do.
Fantastic. Preparation is absolutely key. Huge takeaway. Prepare yourself so you can have the best experience and takeaway. Ambassador, we're wrapping up and we want to get your final bit of advice, encouragement to folks who are considering to come out to Nigeria. I mean, obviously, we're excited to meet you and to talk to you before, but any final take that you'd like to share with the audience here today?
I want to let you know that a while ago we launched the Visit Nigeria project. Nigeria is open, and I'm happy that I have my colleague here, and we're available to give the best advice and the best information. But what's important is that you begin to reach out before you get here. Reach out, let's plan everything. Let's let you know the best places to stay. Let's help you organize what you want to do, the investment you want to make here. I believe that the possibilities are actually limitless. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Regis. Regis, your final take. I think you're on mute.
Well, I think we've said most of it all. And if we're working programmatically, well, there is no need to, repeat what has been stated. I look forward to seeing you in Nigeria, and I look forward to us getting to do business compliantly. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. Well, folks, there you have it. I hope you are encouraged, and I hope this was helpful. Short, the poll results are actually out, and we see there is obviously a lot of interest in coming into the region. A lot of you are still learning and trying to get familiar. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and get you brief. Let's go ahead and get you familiar with what's happening and prepare yourself for this important milestone that we're going to be hitting as a community when we get into West Africa in March. Next week, we're going to be featuring folks from West Africa as well, but primarily in Ghana and Togo. And I want to congratulate Ghana. The Ghana is actually qualified to be in the World Cup, so they're going to be here in Atlanta, and that's super excited. I believe the Nigerians are going to be celebrating the Ghanaians, and the Liberians are going to be celebrating the Ghanaians. I mean, everybody's just going to get on the Ghana team because that's a tremendous milestone to be able to be a part of this massive World Cup that will be here in the U.S. So thank you, everybody. Next week we'll talk about Togo and we'll talk about Ghana. You'll get to meet some of the folks who are helping us to organize and plan this delegation. If you have any questions, if you need anything, please reach out. Enjoy the rest of your week. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. This is the last session we'll be doing next week, is our final session for the year, and we'll take a break. So ensure that you come and have the final hurrah with us and bring everybody that you know who would love to be a part of this global opportunities community. Thank you again, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next week, same time, same place on the Power Hour.
Pretty smart.
Well done.
Thanks, Ricardo. Very nice job.
Thank you, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Chanel, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Good to see you.
Very good.
Well done. Well done.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about it.
Great. right. All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Take care.